I mean, years ago, it was gray. Everything was gray. Paint was gray. The floor was gray. The furniture was gray. Everything was gray. There's still gray undertones, but brown, a little bit more of a warmer tone, I'm definitely seeing make a comeback.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to another Designer Chat. My name is Mia Farrell. I'm a designer at ACo. I'm here to help you love where you live, and so are these guys. The guys that I'm with today are focused a little bit more on the flooring side of our business as opposed to the kitchen and bath remodeling side. So thanks for being here today, guys.
Thank you.
And I've also got Susan Medina with us today. She is our Shaw flooring rep, and we absolutely love having you here. We rely on you for so many things. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to just kind of talk with you guys and with you, Susan, about what we're seeing in flooring these days, specifically in hard surfaces. So, Susan, I'm going to jump to you first,
Absolutely.
Just to talk about some trends that we're seeing, what people are attracted to right now as far as hard surfaces go.
Absolutely. So whether it be hardwood or the waterproof flooring, I'm definitely still seeing a trend more towards the light to medium tones. Every now and then we dabble in with the darker one, but over the past couple of years, it's really been a trend more the light to medium tones. In addition to that, I'm kind of seeing brown make a comeback. I mean, years ago, it was gray. Everything was gray. Paint was gray. The floor was gray. The furniture was gray. Everything was gray. There's still gray undertones, but brown, a little bit more of a warmer tone, I'm definitely seeing make a comeback.
But lighter brown.
Absolutely.
Not
and
the darker.
It's so universal, though. It can just go with so many different things.
Yeah, like a nice neutral
Absolutely.
palette, too.
Absolutely.
Yes, timeless, neutral, a little bit, like I said, neutral backdrop, right? So that
Absolutely.
you can piece different things in with it. What about you, David? What are you seeing?
I'm hearing the same thing. I'm hearing people say I kind of want to get away from gray, and so the lighter browns. Todd's right. People are asking for more neutral tones, and they're thinking about reselling. They're thinking about there's a lot of people moving, and so they want something that's not only going to be good for them but good for future buyers.
Good point, David.
I also find the wide plank is still popular.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Especially for a wide open floor plan.
Yeah, and the longer planks in the hardwood also, and longer
just-
planks also popular.
Yes, on that same note, we're also seeing a little bit of random width.
Oh, yeah.
And then also random length. So just to kind of add a little bit of jazz to the floor.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have a little bit of variation. I think that's been kind of a popular thing over the past couple of years, too, is some floors that have a little bit of variation in the colors, so you can kind of pull out some different wood tones. And I think gray is still okay in decor in general, but when we're talking about flooring, people are really looking to just have something that can be a nice base, right? So you can pair in some gray things, maybe paint the walls gray.
Yes, and if you want to change your decor a few years down the road, you don't have to pull up your floor.
Right.
You can just change the curtains or the paint or the pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
I feel like a little more gray still falls in carpet, but hard surface, I hardly get anybody ask for it anymore.
I think it really depends on the type of house it is too. And Mia would know more about this because you're more centered in design. But if you have a modern house, you may lean more towards grays. If you have a rustic, like more cabin house, you're not going to want that gray in the house. You're going to want browns.
Yeah, and brown, I think that any requests I've been getting lately is for like just a good actual brown, not anything that's got any like red or orange or yellowy undertones. Like that's really what people are trying to not find.
Especially
nice
the yellow
neutral.
and red.
Yeah, get that out of here.
Yeah.
So as far as materials are concerned, so in those wood tones, what kind of materials are people gravitating towards?
I'm still selling a ton of the waterproof flooring. However, I'm selling more and more hardwood every week. So people love the story of a waterproof floor and this and that, but they also love the timeless tradition of a real hardwood floor.
Sure. I still sell more of the vinyl plank as well. I don't know if it's because of Indiana. We have such humid summers and such dry winters. It's somewhat rough on real wood. But, and people with kids and dogs and pets, they just seem to be more drawn towards the vinyl plank. And plus, if you're showing here, I mean, it looks so realistic. It's very hard to tell the difference.
I mean, all three of these large samples are the waterproof flooring, the waterproof resilient flooring. So
you and I have a hard time sometimes. Even a multi-million-dollar home, you walk in and they've got luxury vinyl plank. I have to ascertain whether it's real wood or a luxury vinyl plank.
Well, because sometimes they put that polyurethane coating on the hardwood, which gives it a somewhat plastic feel to it. So even when you're touching it, it's hard to say. I almost have to pull a vent pretty much to figure out what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So in thinking about hardwoods, though, Let's talk about engineered and solid hardwood.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, right here we have a piece of 3/4 solid hardwood that we're all familiar with. And then right here you have a piece of engineered hardwood. One of the biggest questions I get asked, even by my own family and friends, is, oh, so is engineered real hardwood? Absolutely,
yes.
110%. I cannot stress it enough. It is real hardwood.
It's
real
not trying
hardwood.
to fool you.
No, it is real hardwood from top to bottom. It is just constructed differently. And at the end of the day, engineered is going to perform better, especially in the Indiana climate.
Yeah.
It's more stable. You're going to get less seasonal gapping, contracting, different things like that. So I probably sell, oh my gosh, I would say 9.5 to half. That doesn't really make sense.
Sure.
But you know where I'm going with that,
Yeah.
just to show how much engineered hardwood I sell versus very minimal, if any, solid anymore.
We have manufacturers don't even have the solid anymore. And if somebody walked into our showroom and walked around, I mean, we have a small little
Maybe
display
5,
of,
yeah.
and all the other 5 or 6 racks are all the engineered hardwood. And
Yes.
if you want to go wide and long, I mean, it just seems to make more sense to go with the engineered, just more stable.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yep.
And the Indiana climate is such a huge thing when you talk about, not even just the seasonal gapping, but like the elements, right? Tracking snow into your house and all that kind of thing.
And if you were to look at these two side by side, don't pay attention to that.
You would never
Right,
know.
from the top down.
You never know.
In fact, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You can barely tell what's what.
Yeah, and they're all in those kind of lighter, brown tones. So you can't really go wrong. I think a lot of it's going to be personal preference, what your family's like. Do you have pets? Do you have kids? And the maintenance that you're looking to upkeep. It's all personal preference.
They're
really,
all going
at
to
the end
have
of the
their
day.
pros and cons.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's what we're here for, right? One other detail that I'd like to point out is the difference when we're talking about the vinyl plank is the edges and the bevels and how they vary from one to another. So let's see, what do you got in front of you there, David?
This is going to be a bevel, 7-inch wide, 48-inch long luxury vinyl plank. And it's a HD print. And so, Susan, could you explain the HD
Yep,
accent?
absolutely.
Exactly
So,
what that means?
Just real quick, we'll move to the bevel, but the HD is just the technology, the print on it stands for high definition. So it looks more realistic.
Yeah.
But moving on to the bevels, so this particular one here, we call a 4-sided accent bevel.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there's a lot of plank definition from board to board.
Right.
Moving on to this one, this is what we call a 4-sided micro bevel. So depending on personal preference, you don't see quite as much plank definition. You can still see the difference between the planks, but it's a much more subtle look.
Yeah.
And then over here, this is actually new. This was just introduced about 12 to 18 months ago, but this is what we call a natural bevel. And it's more of a rolled edge or an eased edge. You may have heard all those terms before.
A little more subtle.
Absolutely. So, and a little bit more realistic. I mean, most of your engineered hardwoods have what they call that eased or that kissed edge.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember being so excited when you brought this in because it does look natural.
Yes.
So the name is not.
It really does. And
it's
going
definitely
back
on
to
point.
what Travis said earlier about tricking people,
Yeah.
this will really trick people to thinking it's
Yeah,
real
no
hardwood.
kidding.
On the beveling, it originally came out to make the vinyl plank look more like hardwood.
Right.
Because almost all hardwood has some kind of bevel. And I personally, when they ask me, I like the bevel look better. I think it does look more real. But we're actually getting a lot of hardwood now that has a very kissed, tight edge. So sometimes it's not always true. And if the advantage of the kissed edge would be a little bit less busy looking, and some people don't like a groove. They say it attracts like dust or something like that, and things of that nature. But I like the bevel in it though.
Yeah,
But
and
either way.
sometimes it kind of depends on which color you're talking about too. Sometimes the bevel is a little bit more of a highlight. Sometimes it's a little bit more understated depending on the color. Again, with bevels, with materials, with colors, it's all personal preference. It's all lifestyle and what's going to make the most sense for you in your home. And that's what we're here to help you figure out. We're going to talk a little bit more next time about carpet and carpet trends and what you guys are seeing on that side of things. So tune in next time.